Hello, everyone, and welcome to the podcast. We have Katie, our dietitian, on today. I'm so
Hi.
so excited because she has some really great tips and recipes to talk about. And Katie has been with us the longest. Going back, can you start first of where we first met, Katie?
Yeah, we met back at Hobart and William Smith colleges when I was 18. So I was still, I think it was my last year. I was graduating and going to college. And was super excited about nutrition and going to school for that. So I met Kelly, interned for her for a while, and then flash forward to now. I've been here, what, 3 years? Maybe this is like the fourth, I think. Time flies at
Time
Kelly's Choice.
Time is flying, and you're our top private practice dietitian, and seeing the most people rocking it out, have amazing clients. Your testimonials are so good. So tell them what's the secret sauce? Like,
Yeah.
how are you doing?
Yeah, I feel like well, a lot of the people I'm seeing, and it's kind of been top of mind lately for a lot of people, is like GLP-1 patients. So definitely wanted to like dive into that topic today. It's definitely like a current trend. I don't want to say trend, but it's very common and they're being prescribed very frequently. And so we see a lot of clients either like taking them and just seeking nutrition guidance, or maybe people who have been taking them for a while and like not seeing the right results that they were looking for, or maybe having nutrition related complications or side effects like hair loss or something like that, nutrient deficiencies. And then also people who are seeking nutrition services prior to taking the GLP-1 medication. Kelly's Choice is a service that you can use to get insurance coverage. So sometimes insurance requires nutrition services for like 3 or 6 months before getting approved for the medication. So I work with a lot of people in that time period who are looking to try to lose weight and like address some dietary and lifestyle um, factors before taking the medication, just to kind of prepare for that, and get their diet and lifestyle in a better place before they take the medication so they have like better outcomes on it and can avoid like any nutrient like deficiencies or just like any side effects.
I think that's amazing, and I think that people may not know that a lot of these services are covered by insurance. Can you touch on that a little bit?
Yeah, almost all of my clients, I feel like it's fully covered by insurance. So, um, I mean, I could see you 6 months, 3 months before the medication throughout the entire process of taking the medication. If you hope to wean off at one point, I've kind of like worked with people on that, and then just, staying on, touching base, and keeping contact once you're off it and just making sure like things are maintained and things are going well. So it's definitely a long process. And if insurance covers it, which it usually does with no visit limit, a lot of clients just kind of get the most out of it that they can.
Which is incredible. So I think, so are you seeing, I know we were talking just last week and you said you're seeing a couple people that have been taking it and may have, some deficiency or there's some macronutrients of concern. What are some of those that you're seeing?
Yeah, the biggest one I see is protein. If your appetite's not really that big, usually for the most part, people aren't like craving protein. They're kind of going for more like simple sugars and carbs and things like that, which then kind of like compound one another. So protein is like the most important macronutrient on the medication. And then it just becomes when the medication's effective, reducing your appetite, reducing how much you're eating. You have less of an opportunity to meet your nutrient goals if you're eating less. So protein becomes even more important in those instances. And we really work on like being more intentional with what we're eating and having nutrition drive those forces and like those choices and food related decisions instead of just kind of like convenience or just like accessibility. Because then, if you're not getting enough protein, could be losing muscle, losing too much weight too quickly, and hair loss is like a big one, especially lately. I've been seeing a lot of people who are struggling with hair loss, and they do notice a difference when we focus on protein and like make some adjustments there.
I think that's interesting. I've heard that as well, even from people locally who have said, "Hey, I'm doing this. Weight loss was
Mhm.
great, but hair loss." And people are like, "Why hair loss?" And to understand that the protein's going to go to make sure our other large organs are actually being fed, and it'll take away from those things like our skin and hair. So that's where we need to make sure that those proteins are up. And I think being able to work with you, they're really establishing a lifestyle change, right?
Yeah, absolutely. The medication doesn't change your lifestyle and also doesn't like guarantee weight loss. It helps you lose weight, but the dietary and lifestyle changes are really important to like really see that progress you want and do it in a healthy way and like a long-term sustainable way that will carry you, with the medication or without afterwards too.
Mhm.
And I think too, like, I mean, doctors are busy. I feel like it's hard to get into doctors. They're busy, they're prescribing these medications, and sometimes the follow-up is tough. Like they don't have that much contact with their doctors, just depending on different providers and their schedules and like what they're able to provide or not. So a lot of times clients really like that, just like touch base accountability aspect of kind of checking in every couple of weeks, touching base on the dosage, side effects, how things are going, appetite, diet, lifestyle, just making sure like we're not missing anything and that those things are able to stay front of mind.
Mhm.
If you're not like thinking about it or talking about it or you don't have an appointment on the book, sometimes life just gets in the way. Like we're busy. So I think these appointments really help that stay in the forefront and prioritize those like dietary and lifestyle changes too, just to really get the most out of the medication and the goals that they have and that they're working on.
Because we know they're not going away. The pill form is now out, so they're here to stay. We're not against it. We're not judging, but really understanding that nutrition should be partnered in.
Yeah, absolutely. We've seen it work. I've seen it change lives, reverse, different diseases, diabetes, fatty liver, blood pressure is a big one as well, weaning off those medications. So, yeah, absolutely no judgment. We really enjoy working with those type of clients, especially if they're already taking it. We just want to help. We just want to make sure you're getting the most out of it. We don't want to see you in a year with like, hair loss, severe malnutrition, like nutrient deficiencies. We really just want to help you throughout the way. And that's our expertise. I always tell people I wouldn't have a job if this wasn't a thing. If weight loss and all of this was easy, we just like wouldn't have a job, but we do. And so it's our job to help figure that out and lead them. Like you're not supposed to have it all figured out, especially as things are changing all the time. There's new products, there's new this, new that. So we're really there just to help and be like a support, if anything, too.
I agree. I totally agree. So you came up with a recipe today. Tell me about your recipe and
I
we'll post it
did.
out.
I make this all the time, I will say, disclaimer, but it's cottage cheese Alfredo. I feel like with protein, it's kind of having its moment too. There's cottage cheese everything. And so some people, I always say it's kind of hit or miss. Some people love cottage cheese and eat it plain, but some people are like, no, thank you. So a lot of recipes, you blend it and you just kind of like mix it in. So it's almost like a hidden protein. And this cottage cheese recipe, cottage cheese Alfredo, it's just a few ingredients, just like different spices, cottage cheese, Parmesan, cornstarch to thicken it. And then that just kind of becomes like the creamy, cheesy sauce, but it's also packed with protein. And then if you do like a protein pasta or have like a lean meat with it, throw in some veggies, like you have a perfect, well-rounded meal.
I love it. My daughter's been using the cottage cheese in eggs. It's so
Hmm.
creamy and seriously, like you said, if you don't like cottage cheese, you would never know it's in there. It just blends in and kind of melts in. So
Hmm.
definitely a great way to bump up the nutrients and vitamins and some protein. So we'll share that
Yeah.
out with this podcast. Every single time we're going to have your tips, and we have them for GLP-1s, the recipe, and you can book Katie right on kellyschoice.org. She is pretty filled up, but as she gets going here, I'm sure.
We'll make room. Come see me.
Oh, well, so thank you, Katie, so much for being on today. Thank you, listeners, and I hope you have a healthy and happy rest of your day. Thanks, Katie.
Thank you.